see, why does this look?
And Instagram changes that are coming. And I got a lot of useful information out of it, so I wanted to share some information with you guys. So a little nervous about today. And I thought that to take a little bit of the spotlight off of me, I will give you guys some things to do while I'm talking. So as most people do during the days, we're going to go ahead and do birthdays. So if everybody wants to go ahead and send out their audio birthday messages to all of their people with birthdays today, we can start by doing that, and I'll give us about 5 or 10 minutes to do that. And while we are sending out birthdays, I'll give you guys a little bit of information from that webinar that I watched. I'm going to pop up my phone real quick because I have some notes on there. All right, so the lady that I watched was Samantha English, and if anybody else watched the same webinar, if you'll just comment below and let us know, put it in the chats that you guys watched it also. Maybe you guys can back me up on some of it or correct me if I'm wrong, if I wrote it down incorrectly. She just kind of went over some of the changes to Facebook as far as things that are going to reduce your exposure. And one of the things that they are testing out is removing likes from your post. So let's say that you put up a post and you get 500 likes. Facebook and Instagram are going in and removing the likes from those posts, and they're looking for more valuable content like reactions and comments and shares as opposed to likes. So basically in the Facebook and Instagram world, likes don't mean anything anymore. One of the quotes that she had on here was, "We are testing this because we want your followers to focus on the photos and videos you share, not how many likes they get." So that was one of the things that they mentioned that I thought was pretty important. I try to leave a reaction as opposed to a like, because personally I'm just not a big thumbs up fan. So a like to me is just kind of like, yeah, I saw your picture, so what? But when you really like take the time to hold the button a little bit longer and give them a reaction, I feel like you took more time on that post and you're getting some more genuine reaction from it. And then the other thing that they were talking about is Instagram is now going to prioritize content based on what they think the users want to see. So again, that's going to be the posts that are going to have more reactions and comments and stuff like that. They're not going to prioritize those that just have likes, which I thought was interesting. It says, on average, people miss about 70% of the posts in their Instagram feed. And what this is about is making sure that the 30% that you do see is the best 30% possible. Again, going back to the likes and comments and shares, want to make sure that we're seeing things that we genuinely want to see, not just some random stuff thrown out there. I really don't know how they think they know what we want to see, but that's what it is. Another thing that they were really specific about that was going to be going through changes is within the groups. So we all have our own customer base group, our own associate groups, training groups, blah, blah, blah groups. What they're saying that they don't want to see on Facebook is going to be posts that have links that go outside of Facebook or Instagram. They want you to stay within their platform, and they're going to start flagging or removing some of those posts that you see with the links. Like in your customer groups, you have recipes. Maybe you want to share healthy recipes or an article about a keto diet, or just those kind of things that we share in our groups because we want our people to be able to see what we are sharing with them without having to copy and paste it. But the recommendation is, instead of copying the link to that
recipe. Instead, go on to that recipe page and copy it and then paste it into your group instead of putting it in the group as a link. So again, they want you to stay within their platform. They're trying to keep you all to themselves. The other one that they were really driving home on is making sure that your content in your post is within the Facebook standards. Facebook standards meaning you don't want to have anything with nudity, anything that and you can look on your Facebook for the Facebook standards. I didn't go and look at all of them, but one of them was nudity, and I think within our organization, that's something we really need to consider, because we do a lot of before and after pictures in just bra and panties, and that can be flagged as nudity, even though it's not exposing the entire body. They can flag that as a nudity, and what's going to happen is the admins and moderators of the group are going to receive a notification from Facebook of the what do they call it? Violation. So we'll get flagged, or the admins will receive the violation notification, and then after so many, they'll review your group, and what they're looking for in that group is excessive violations and what have you. And if they shut your group down, guys, it's gone. There's no recovering it. Like, you lose every bit of content that's in there. And so I'm going to stress that you guys make sure that you're approving posts. First of all, everything that goes into a group should have some kind of admin or moderator approval, and they are going to target the admin and moderators. One of the notes that I had written down said something to the effect of that we would be, as moderators and admins, we would be policing the groups. Yeah, so that one says admin of groups now charged with policing content. So it's our job as admins to make sure that we're not approving controversial posts that go against Facebook's community guidelines. It says if approved content violates Facebook's guidelines and or community standards, the group will be closed. And again, if the group is closed, there's no petitions, there's no appealing, there's no please can we have it back. It's gone. Like, it's gone. There's no getting it back. You have to start from scratch all over again. So I can't see comments. I don't know why, but I can't. I'm gonna pop over there real quick just so that I can see if anybody had any questions yet. Samantha's webinar was one that you had to sign up for. I can go through my email and see if there's a way to sign up for it again. And if there is, I can, what I'll do is I'll share the link to it in Truist Ones so that everybody can get to it. Okay, so then the next thing that says on here is starting in the coming weeks when reviewing a group to decide whether or not to take it down, we will look at admin and moderator content violations in the group, including member posts that have been approved as a stronger signal that the group violates our standards. So again, it's not one person in particular, but they can look at it as a whole. And if, as admin and moderator, you're doing the approval of the post, then you're going to have, obviously we're going to lose our groups that way. So we want to make sure that we communicate with each other as admins that we are or are not going to approve iffy posts. It did also say that in the coming months, you're going to start seeing that Facebook is going to start combining the stories and posts into one feed. So you're going to have all the stories and all the posts into one feed. She didn't go into it too deep on that particular one, but that it would basically, instead of going to click on just stories, you would have the stories popping up in the feed as well. So again, still going towards the video side of everything. They want to see us doing videos and going live and what have you. Focus on meaningful interaction. You want to reply to each of the comments that are on your post. If you post an interactive post and 500 people comment on it, but you don't have any comment back or any interaction with those people, that was a worthless post. You're not really going to gain attraction. You're not really going to, get any real benefit out of that. So you definitely want to interact with people if you're doing interactive posts. That's kind of the whole point of that one. I know that was kind of silly to have to say, but kind of makes sense. It is noon where I am, and I know some of you are not over here, but I want to also give you guys the task of going in and doing the morning inspirational post. So each morning I go in and I post something inspirational or motivational or something with some kind of meaning. I did post one this morning that was near and dear to my heart, so I jumped on first thing this morning and posted that, and I do have some interaction from it, so I like that, and I'm able to comment back to them. And so if you guys want to go ahead and do that while I move on. It did say that meaningful interactions, like sharing and commenting, that one of the things that they're going to be looking at is links being shared via Messenger. So if you share not your True Vision link, but your link to your Facebook page, or a link to a post that you've put on your Facebook page in Messenger, it becomes what they consider a more meaningful interaction. So that content then becomes more boosted in the, I guess, algorithm. So you want to share about that. Things to avoid: posts that are created for the sole purpose of pushing people to buy a product. So we don't want to say click here to buy now. That's not the kind of post that they're looking for. We want to create some sort of interest. We want them to come to us and ask us questions and create more of a relationship with that particular person. They don't really want to see us saying, here, click here to buy now. Another one that they said is posts that push people to enter promotions, giveaways, and contests. Facebook is going away from that. They don't want to see a lot of that. They really just want to see content that is meaningful, content that is, I can't even think of the word right now, but they want more content that is going to be less salesy, less pushy. My glasses are broken. So that's why I keep messing with them. And then they don't want to see a post that link to outbound content, which I had already talked about. So those are the three things that you definitely want to avoid when you're doing posts. Not super salesy, not you want to give away the world, and not linking to outbound content. That's all stuff that you would want to do in like a private message. Oh, and then this one, I thought this one was kind of interesting. Don't be tempted to boost your post. I don't know how many of you do boost your post or what kind of interaction you get from it. I personally have never boosted my post. But what they said for boosting posts is that you get a very low conversion value. So based on if you're doing $5 a day to boost your post, and are you really getting that $5 plus some back? And from what she was saying, that's not really what happens. That it does not target the users that are most likely to purchase, but rather it targets the users that are online at the time. So it's not necessarily going out and looking for the people that are looking for what you have to offer, but just basically showing the people that are already online that this is where, this is what's available right now. So we want to keep that in mind when you're tempted to boost post. This was another interesting one that I saw, was that she said you must have a business presence, which we all know we have to be present in our business to have a business, but it says 60% of consumers visit your Facebook page before visiting your brick and mortar location or website. So if you have like a Facebook business page as opposed to just your Facebook personal page, then it says 60% of users, consumers, will actually go to your Facebook business page and check you out there before they'll visit your website to make a purchase. So it encouraged you to make a business page or fan page. That way they can go and see that you are a more legit person. They can start to form that kind of connection with you there. And then 80% of consumers are more inclined to purchase from you if they find a credible, authentic Facebook page associated with your business. So you become more credible. I guess the more pages you have, the more credible you are. So that was another thing about making a business page. And then 62% of consumers say Facebook is the most important and useful social media channel to research small businesses. So we all have a small business, so making sure that you have that exposure on Facebook so that they're able to look you up and research you and see, you know, if they want to do business with you is kind of important. It definitely opened my eyes. I don't have a Facebook page currently. I might. I don't know. One day, maybe. All right. Let me look at my notes and make sure I covered everything that I got from there. And if you guys want to go ahead and do a follow-up, you can do follow-up with everyone that you talked to on this day last week. You can either use the notebook that you wrote it down in, or you can use your messenger to go back to the date on this day last week and follow up with them. Even if it's just a hello, how are you? How's your kid? I saw you sick last week. Anything like that, just to kind of build that connection. Let me go and look real quick. Admins can see. Oh, so when they do flag the content, the admins will be notified. And also when they're removing likes, only admins can see the likes. So if they remove 500 likes from a post that's in a group, the admin of the group can still see the likes, but the other people inside of the group or visiting the group cannot see the likes. So it's they're testing to see what content they really want to see versus what likes they got on that content. So liking isn't the way to go. It says they'll be removing low quality posts from Facebook and Instagram. And I don't know if that meant that they were going to remove it permanently or if they were just removing it from exposure. That wasn't super clear to me on that one. Oh, this one was huge. If the user, anybody in your group, leaves your group, they will be able to choose to remove all of their posted content. That's kind of a big deal. Like everything they've ever posted in your group can go with them whenever they leave your group. The webinar that I watched was Facebook and Instagram changes. I'll show you. Hold on 1 second. Let me get out of this thing. This is the little workbook thing that she sent us to try to take our notes in. So it was through a marketing academy, Facebook and Instagram changes, and I don't see any links in here, but I do have an email. So when I get off of here, I'll look and see if I can get the email, and that way I can get it to whoever needs it. It was good. It did take about an hour and a half before she got into her sales pitch. I will tell you there is a sales pitch behind it, but it was about an hour and a half of really good content before we got to the actual sales pitch side of it. So I don't know how many of you are gonna want her sales pitch, but it was really good information to have to make sure that you know, you kind of stayed on top of things. And from what she was saying in her video, she has direct contact with Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not really sure how or why, but that was one of the things that she was talking about with them. Sorry, I'm going to read through and make sure I got everything else in here. Yep. So that is the bulk of what I got out of their webinar. Again, she was very good. She did have slides that she provided, so you could kind of follow along with what she was saying and doing, and was able to follow along pretty well. I was going to try and go and read some of the comments, make sure nobody had any kind of questions for me. Yes, Shauna, I believe that is the webinar that you posted in there, the MAFSB. I think that's the one that looks very, very familiar. Yes, it was in True Directors. That's where I grabbed it from. And she does have a replay on it. It's available only for a short period of time, but there was a replay available. And I don't know if I've missed that window or not either. So, all right. So we've already done the birthdays. We've already done the morning post, and we're doing the follow-up with everybody on this day from last week. And so I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Trevor showed me a really cool feature with doing stories and creating stories that get more interaction. And if you go to your stories and you want to post just a picture, I'm going to use this one. Can you guys see this okay? Right. So if you go on here and you click on the sticker, and then you choose, I'm going to try and get it in focus a little bit, poll. See the one that says poll here? If you ask a question here, like my recent one that's been getting a lot is, I will put in here belly blaster results still coming in. So I'll type it out so that it just says that. And then if you click on the buttons that say yes and no, you can actually change that. You can change that to pretty much whatever you want it to say. I click on it and I'll put in sign me up or send more info. Like so. And then you click done. And then you can position that anywhere on this screen. Like I put mine down towards the bottom. Can't really see. And then you just hit post to your story. And then once it's in your story, people click on that poll and it will send you a notification in your Facebook that somebody is interested in the product or wants more information. And then you can reach out to them individually. You can also see every single person that has viewed your story and that particular picture. And you could reach out and just ask them. The task was to follow up with everybody in Messenger from last week and then to post in your story. If you guys aren't using stories, you're really missing out. So post a picture in your story and try to use the poll feature so that you can have more interaction. I usually do about 10 images a day, and not all business related. I'll post my little boy, my cats, my birds, my husband, my business. I mean, I just keep my story, so people will have to click on it several times to go in and see what's going on in my life, I guess. A lot of my little boy. I spend a lot of time with him. Oh, good to know, Suzanne. She said there are several times still available through September 2nd for that webinar. And Valerie, it's Instagram for the webinar or for stories? Because I'm using Facebook for stories. I haven't dived into or dove into, I don't know, Instagram yet. Not real savvy with Instagram. It's something that I am working on. But I use Facebook stories. But you can do both. I mean, like I said, it's just because I don't use it, so I didn't give that task because I wouldn't give you guys something I'm not doing myself. And then the last task that I would suggest everybody doing, especially today's the 28th, and they're rerunning your Smart Ships today. Today's the last rerun for Smart Ships. So I would highly recommend reports. And there are 3 reports that I, especially at the end of the month, I work hard. And that's going to be the ordered last month, not yet this month, because you want to follow up with all of those people that ordered last month that haven't placed their orders yet. And just send them a quick message. Hey, I was looking at a report. I saw you haven't ordered yet. I wanted to make sure that you don't miss out on your awesome products. Can I go ahead and process an order for you? And then we'll get that taken care of for them. Or your failed orders and failed Smart Ships. That's going to be a list of all orders that were placed but still have 0 PV, meaning their order failed for one reason or another. And when I reach out for failed orders, I never make it about being a lack of funds or anything like that. I say basically, hey, Susan, I just saw that your order didn't process properly this month. You know, a lot of times that's just because of an expiration date. Can we look at this a little bit closer? And then we can review if they want to order it or if they don't want to order it this month. And you know, it's also a great way to follow up and make sure that everything is going good with them as well. And then there is another report. Let me look and see what exactly it's called, so I don't want to mess that up. But it is for those of us that have teams that you're looking at ranking. It's a rank report. I think it's rank progress report. And it'll tell you who is close to making next rank. So we can reach out and see if there's anything you can do to help them get where they need to go. Yep. It's rank progress reports, and it's under reports in your back office. All right, so I looked and I don't see any questions in the chat. Does anybody have any questions on anything that I covered from the webinar other than the link, because I think that's been posted now? Or anything that I can touch base on?
Jennifer, can you share that link with us for the webinar?
Yes, I'll grab it. It's actually in the comments, in the chat in here.
Okay.
I think it's posted twice in there now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It is long. I will tell you guys, it's like an hour and a half of content to get through all of it. All right, so I gave you all the tasks that I had for my notes for today. And if nobody has any extra questions or anything like that, then I am going to just be done because I don't have anything else really that I had prepared. With the rank one, I go into the rank report and see who is close to making rank. And then I will reach down into my downline and talk with them and ask them, you know, how many potentials they have that they're working with. Have they sent out their follow-ups? Basically coach them and teach them how to get more people to respond. I would say that, sorry, I'm looking to plug in my tablet. I would say you definitely want to reach out and make sure that they don't need anything additional, any additional support. Any verbiage, a lot of times people don't know exactly what to say when they're reaching out to people, so I kind of try to give them a little bit of dialogue on what to actually say when they're reaching out to everybody. I definitely would suggest them running their ordered last month, not yet this month, and following up with all of those people, coaching them into a post to put on their Facebook page so that they can get those last couple people in to make their rank. Making rank is a big deal. Lisa, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Nope, that's good. Did you share? I had walked away, but did you share about doing Power Hour? About your patch?
Oh, I didn't. See, that's why you're
That's
here with me.
important.
That's why you're here with me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Elise has asked me before to do a Power Hour, and I did find every excuse in the book to not do it. And, you know, the kids were this, the kids were that. I couldn't do it because of this, couldn't do it because of that. And I saw Elisa on Saturday, and she said, okay, so you're ready to do the Power Hour? And immediately I was okay with it. And so I shared with her my experience with my Vibrant patch, which, by the way, backstory is I've never been a huge CBD proponent. I think a lot of it is because I was very uninformed, very uneducated on it. So I got the patch. I wanted to try it. I wanted to be a product of my product. I put the patch on, and I actually had a team meeting that night. And within 20 minutes of putting the patch on me, all the pain in my neck was gone. And I was in a car accident in March, and I herniated 5 discs in my neck. And I've been pretty miserable since March. So just that being gone was it sold me on it, no doubt. But that night we were sitting at the team meeting. It was a very informal in-home team meeting, and I was sitting there, I was like, you know what's really weird is that I'm not really nervous at all talking in front of anybody right now. And this was all in my head. And I was like, and my hands aren't clammy. Like, I feel really good. Like, this is really weird. For all my life, no matter when, every time I spoke in front of anybody, my hands would get super clammy. My heart just races. Like, I start thinking about, I can't talk at all. I can't talk to these people. Like, they're going to think this, they're going to think that. It is not like that at all with the Vibrant Patch now. Like, I'm completely comfortable talking to all of these people. I'm not looking at everybody, but I can see myself, which was always the hang up for me, is watching myself in the video. So it's definitely helped me mentally to be prepared for my business, and it's definitely helped me physically as far as the pain goes for my neck. It's definitely been a big difference for me. And my daughter. I mean, my daughter is bipolar and ADHD, and I mean, I could probably throw a list this long of what my daughter goes through, but since she started on the patch, she has been very mild-mannered. Usually if we lose something, by we, I mean her, lose something around the house, it turns into a full fit. Like, it's horrible, like screaming and hollering and throwing things. And it's just, she lost something the other day and she kind of laughed it off until we found it. And then she told me how ridiculous it was that she found it. And, you know, I don't know. And I've told Regina this, but I haven't told anybody else this. We had some issues at school on Monday with another kid. And on top of that, they told her at school she couldn't wear her patch. And instead of losing it on them and basically telling them, yes, I will be, she took it very good. She's like, okay, well, you're going to have to talk to my mom. And, she directed them where they needed to go. And then sitting there in the principal's office on Monday, he basically looked at her and he said, Alexandra, you are doing so good, and your progress is amazing this year. Do not let whatever this is set you back. These girls are not going to affect you. I want you to know that you're doing amazing. Don't lose that momentum. And that's the first time in years I have heard that from an administrator at her school. So I definitely will be a huge, huge proponent for our Vibrant Patches because they've made a world of difference for my family.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm super proud of you. You did a great job. I'm super proud. So I appreciate you. And now you're comfortable, so we'll have you back another time.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're in here now. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great one.